title of this chapter is The Bridal Shower. And really, it's the bridal shower from hell because all hell breaks loose, okay? So, because of the things that transpired at this bridal shower, I thought it would be a good question for Icebreaker to say, have you ever had a frenemy situation like Malia faced with the women at the bridal shower? And the bridal shower was pretty extreme, but yeah. Who wants to go first?
I will. So the only one that I can think of, I had a friend. Our families were friends, so we were pretty close. And we went to middle school together. And I didn't realize that, she was the way that she was. But I know when we would be together at home or at her house, things would be fine, things would be great. And then we go to school and then she would act different towards me. And I just didn't understand that. So I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I guess she's acting different around her other friends, so I would just leave her alone. Like I would just come and say hi, and then I wouldn't be around her at school. And then I would just hang out with her, when we, left school, at each other's houses and stuff. And then one day I came to school and I think I was in like sixth grade. So this girl, she was in eighth grade. She just came and she like pushed me. And so I was like, excuse you, and so she's like, you know what you did, you know what you said. And I'm like, do I know you? And so she's like, yeah, you're running your mouth and you're talking and you're saying all this stuff about me. And so I'm like, I don't know you. I'm sorry. And then she told me, yeah, so and so told me that you said this about me. And so I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't say anything about you. And this girl hauls off and hits me. And so we got into this big fight. And of course, they take us to the principal's office. And so I explained my side of the story. And so I'm like, I was just defending myself. She practically attacked me because of what somebody else said.
Put them paws on it, baby.
Yeah, and then when I went back to my friend, and she said that she never said anything. So that was my first experience of, her doing that kind of thing. And it's like, you don't know who to believe because you want to trust your friend, right? And they've never shown you this side, so I was just like kind of on pause, but I still wasn't like, I just wasn't sure. So I still was her friend after that because I didn't know who to believe or what. And so um, fast forward years later, we're in college. This is when we went to date screen. I don't know if you remember this situation. And the same friend, she came up to me and she's like, you told my mom that I said this, and that. And so
I remember that. Yeah.
I was like, no, I didn't. And so she's like, yes, you did. And so I'm like, no, I didn't. I haven't talked to your mom. And so she's like, yeah, and she's like yelling and screaming, going crazy. And so I'm like, well, let's call your mom right now and ask her, So I called her mom and I said, she said that I told you this, and that. And so she was like, no, baby, I haven't talked to you. And, I don't remember the last time I talked to you. And so I was like, you hear what your mom said. I haven't talked to her. And so she says, look, you just told her just now. Look, you just told her. And she was just like yelling and popping off and going crazy and doing all this kind of stuff. And so I was like, it sounds like you want to fight me. So if you're that upset and you want to fight me, I'm going to go stand out in the foyer and then you can come outside and we can do it. And I said it just like that, and I just walked out of the store and I walked outside to the common area.
But you were in the student store?
Yeah, she worked in the student store. Yeah, and so she came outside.
She want to get cracking in the store. There's a lot of weapons in there.
We always talked about getting it cracking in the store.
Yeah, she was getting so rowdy, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, why you're acting crazy with me? Like, what's up? And so she comes outside, and she's just like yelling and stuff, whatever. And my grandfather always taught me one thing: let them hit you first, so you don't get caught for starting a fight. You'll always be defending yourself. So, and I was just like, well, if you want to fight, go ahead and hit me. And so she was just like yelling and yelling. I was just like, I'm not about to sit up here and yell back and forth with you. If you want to talk, we can talk, but we're not about to do this. And so she like puts her hand up and she just like slides her hand across my face like this. And I just, I just started taking off on her. And we got in this big fight. it was a huge thing. But that was another time when I was just like, what is going
Must have
on?
been in class. Dang it.
Yeah,
I'm like, who
and then
does that? Like,
yeah, and so
just hit her. Like,
yeah,
put
I
me
had
in
found out that
spirit.
she had been doing a lot of lying on me behind my back and stuff for no reason. I mean, and I never got to the bottom of it, why she was acting that way and doing those things. I decided to walk away from the relationship and never talk to her again. So I think that's like my
Right.
only kind of frenemy kind of situations. That
Oh
situation
no,
I
you have
ever.
more than that. You just ain't thinking clearly. I said it happens so much, it's so common. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and because of my past traumas, I don't have access to a lot of my memories. So I'm pretty sure I probably have experienced other things, but who needs those memories anyway?
Right. Wish I could delete some stuff. What about you, Lily?
Um, I've had a few. One that
Right.
comes to mind. I'm trying to. There were so many, like Karina said, so many. But I'm trying to think of
Too many.
like a sort of like a Addison situation. If I had something like that, where they act like they cool with you, and but they really ain't. They be trying to shade you. I had
That's me.
one that that I went to church with, and she wasn't the most attractive. I don't like to call folks ugly, but she just wasn't. You know, God has a different plan for her. Um, so, anyways, she wanted to be my
Upside.
friend. Um, that's all I could think of. She wanted to be
God's
my
plan.
friend, and she always wanted to be up under me. She wanted to be around me. She always wanted to hang out or whatever. But anytime she got the chance to put me down, or she would say little snarky comments, like we would be out, her mom would either take us out or my mom would take us out somewhere, and or even at church, and I would get out of the car or whatever. Maybe I have on have my hair in a different style, and everybody be like, oh, your hair's so cute, and she'd be like, I mean, it's fake. It looked like plastic to me. Like she would always have some, and then I would be like, "What?" And she's like, "No, it's cute. I'm just saying, like it's really, really shiny, or something." And I'm like, "Whatever." And there was a little boy at church. Well, he wasn't a little boy. I was really surprised. My mom. This is the guy I think we told y'all about, where he told me I was his woman. Um, but she just was stuck on him. I mean, she had the biggest crush on him, and the fact that he didn't even look her way, and he didn't just like me. This boy was sprung on me, and I guess the fact that I wasn't so excited, she just was offended. Like, you got all this on your arm, and you just, oh my god, like what is wrong with you? So she would say little stuff. We would be out with the other people, kids or whatever, on the playground at church. She's like, something smell weird. Is that you? I think you stank. Like she would say little stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, you got anything else to do? Like, I would give him a hug, and she would talk about like how skinny I was or something like that. She would try to bring out like any type of flaw, to where her sister was like, oh my God, shut up. She's like, you always, trying to say something about her, or trying to embarrass her and say stuff in front of people all the time. Yeah, you always want to hang out. Like, and so that was her thing with me. I think that went on until, I guess, basically we left the church. And of course we lost contact after that. But the whole few years we were in church, it was like that. She acted like she was my friend, and then we get in front of people and she try to like shade me, come up with different stuff, talk about my clothes, the same clothes she wanted to borrow, stuff like that. So yeah, that's the one I'm gonna stick with.
part. I have about a billion stories to be honest. Like, which one do I want to tell? Yeah, I have a lot
Right.
of stories. So there was this one girl. There was a boy who liked me. And Alicia, you remember, we literally, we bring this story up all the time. We just laugh about how foolish it was. There was this boy, he liked me, and I liked him too. And Alicia was always like, his head is big, but I didn't care, honey. I liked him. I
Mm.
was like, honey, big head and all. Well, I just liked him. Wasn't that big, but I liked him. He was really cool, and I don't know. He just had this swag about himself where he wasn't trying. He just was himself, and I like that because I feel a lot of people, you know, what I'm saying, they oversell themselves, and he was just like very confident in who he was, and I just kinda like that about him. We were talking, and honey, he let me know that he was very experienced at the age of 13 years old, and I was like, it's a wrap. It's like it's a wrap. Um, yes, honey, he was a 13-year-old boy who had already had his first encounter with a grown woman, and I was like, "Oh, that was fun." No, I was like, "You got too much experience for me." He was like, "Well, I mean, I can show you a few things." No, sir, no, because we kids, and I'm not doing that. And my daddy already told me I was gonna get pregnant by a kiss. If you do anything else, I know what's going down for real. So I had to cut him off. But he was a cool boy. But yes, the relationship didn't go nowhere because he had experience that I didn't feel was appropriate for kids our age. But anyway, it was an older girl. I don't know. He always had a lot of older girls who liked him. So there was an older girl who was 17 and we were both 13. And she was just so sprung off this boy. And they were best friends. You know, that's how she tried to present herself to him. He's my brother. We were just talking about that on another episode of the
Mhm.
podcast. People talking about some they friends and they really have ulterior motives. And so he was like, I like Karina. And he was telling everybody, like, I like her. And I was like, oh my God. Like, this is before I found out he was experienced sexually as a child. I was like, oh no. But, you know, I was like so flattered. I'm like, oh, he likes me because I liked him too, you know. Um, his so-called homegirl, she found out and she had a real problem. And I guess there was some kind of target on my back, baby. Um, oh, okay. I just saw your message. Oh, I hope not.
Oh.
Kyrie just said that there's a storm in her area. Oh, you saw that too. Okay. So hopefully you don't
Mhm.
lose power. But if we do, you know, that's life. So she started telling people that she was going to beat me up. And she started telling people, oh, she's so this and she's fake. Karina is so fake. And I'm going to beat her up. And I was like, oh, word? Okay. All right. You know what I'm saying? So I waited until we got into this room full of all these people. It was like about 10 people there because I wanted her to back up what she said she was going to do to me. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with brothers and we used to get it up, baby. Like it wasn't no, mom, he hit me with a bat. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally had to do that. You know what I'm saying? We really fought at my house. You know, you shouldn't. Like I don't allow that with my kids. Like if my
Mm-mm.
boys put their hands on each other, I'm tearing everybody down in this house. You're not going to touch each other, and you definitely ain't putting your hands on my daughter. Period. Okay, but my parents, I don't know. I guess they was a little bit whatever. Like folks was really backyard brawling. Like we was really doing some stuff, right? We was really fighting, bad. So I wasn't scared of nobody and I wasn't backing down. You know what I'm saying? She could be 17. I was 13. I was going to show her some things. You know what I'm saying? I could maybe teach her a few lessons. So I waited till we all got into this
And
big
I would
old
have hopped
room and all
in.
these teenagers. You know what I'm saying? Would have gave her them ones and them twos and an elbow and few. So we were there. So I started looking at her and I started smiling. And I said, hey, such and such. I got a phone call a couple days ago and I heard that you said you were going to slap me in my face. Is that true? And she was like, who called you? I was like, I don't think that's important. But what's important is we need to establish you gonna do what to who and when and where. She was like, I don't have to call people up. I said, no, you're missing the point here. Did you say you was gonna slap me? No, I didn't say I was gonna slap you, Karina. I said, okay, cool, be cool. I said, I just wanted to find out. Do we have a problem? And she was like, I don't have a problem with you. And you're a little girl. I said, listen, I want to know, is there a problem? Because if there's a problem, we can deal with it. But we can't deal with something if we don't know there's a problem. I said, I was very confused. We never had a run in. We never had, you know what I'm saying, any disrespectful interaction. So to hear that you want to slap my face, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like that's invoking a level of rage in
I
me where
was
I
the
want I
one she
want you to
said
try
it
it
to.
though.
I,
Oh
I
yeah, I
was the
want you to
one she
try it.
said it to.
Because
She told me that she
well,
was
we
going to
were all
slap
in this,
Karina in the face. And I said, well, let's see.
yeah.
And I told Karina. So, and I was there when Karina punked her too. And I was like, mm. Cause I know for a fact, when somebody tell you something, like she told me, no, when I see her, I'm gonna smack her in the face. She keep talking, I'm gonna smack her in the face. And I said, okay, well, that me, you gonna have a problem too then. And I told Karina, I said, yo, boom, boom, boom. We'll keep names out of it. She said when she sees you, she gonna smack you. Karina's like, oh, okay, I'll be at church this week. Um, and she confronted her in front of everybody because this girl
Yeah.
had went around and told everybody that she was
Yeah,
gonna
we were
hit Karina over
yeah,
this
we were
book.
all amongst this like little group. So she had been talking about it to a lot of people. That's the reason why I wanted to say it in front of everybody, because if I just go to you and say it, you're going to deny it. But if I ask you in front of all these people, you've been talking all that trash in front of, it's really going to make you look a little different now, because you talked all this stuff about this little prissy girl who you think it, you can push over, and you starting to find out she might wear makeup, but that's a whole killer in there. You know what I'm saying? So it happened again. And I waited, I smiled, and I said, hey, I heard again that you want to put your hands on me. I said, so what's going on? I thought you said there wasn't an issue. She's like, I don't know who keeps telling you this, but it needs to stop because I'm not saying it. I said, okay. I said, so let's establish right now in this room, you guys. She didn't say it. Okay. And so I took on this thing with everybody, from that day forward. If you don't say it to me, it wasn't said. Because if you want to offend me, the best way to offend me is for you to do it. You to send it through a third party channel. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? You want to offend me, come find me. I'm not hard to find at all. And I'll give you that entertainment. You know what I'm saying? I'll give it to you. So that was that. That happened. It was a long time ago, but it all stemmed from people liking a little boy. I really liked this girl. Like I thought she was like super cool. She was funny. She was just like laid back. And then when that boy, I guess, made his feelings known for me and she felt some kind of way, it was like we need to have a duel at this point in battle and see who gets him. But I'm like, who's fighting over a guy though? Because there's been many times in my life I've liked a young man and he didn't feel the same way about me. And that's life, baby. You move the heck on. Okay. There's been many times where I'm like, oh, I like him. And someone like, oh no, he like your cousin. I'm like, oh, okay. At least you can. But there's been many times I've liked people and they didn't like me back. Learn to deal with it as a society. You're not entitled to anybody. So I've had too many situations where I had people who I thought were friends. Like I thought we was vibing together, baby, and they was stabbing me in the back to everybody else. And then when it finally did come out, it was like they're cowards. Because even if they see you, they're like, "Oh, I got television. I don't see you. You don't want me to address it." But that's cool because I mean, at the end of the day, you're weak. Because I am never going to be around anybody that I talk bad about. I don't. I pride myself. If I'm with you, it's because I like you and I respect you. I'm never going to hang in your midst and then backstab you behind your back because I feel like that's really weak. That's the lowest vibration that you could possibly send out. I look stupid now. I'm talking about some she this and she that. And then we out here taking pictures together and we going to dinner. Who looks stupid though? You, because you're the one who's talking bad about people, but you want to hang out with them. Weird, right? So I feel like a lot of people have dealt with frenemies. And I was telling the girls this morning, I was like, honey, even dudes can be frenemies. I've had some of them too, because they'll act like they're your friend. And then when they realize, oh, okay, so I don't have a shot with this person, then their little claws come out too. And then they start trying to get mess started. And yeah, even as adults, people are something else. So frenemies I think is definitely a huge problem in our society. They're haters, you know what I'm saying? They're fans, they admire you, but deep down inside, like, I don't know. I mean, hey, if I'm inspiring, then let's be inspired together. Like, you ain't got to be mad at me. Like, ask me some questions. Maybe I can give you a couple tips. Cause like my girl Kyrie, you know what I'm saying? Like she'll be like, oh, this and that and the other. And I'm like, well, how do you do that? What site? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't hate people for being great. Ask them what they doing. Maybe they can teach you. Maybe they can give you a little course. There have been times where Kyrie will be like, okay, well, we'll meet at this time and then I'll show you how to do it yourself. Like she'll set up the computer and we'll do like a shared screen. And she's like, you go here, you do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to hate off people. All you have to do is ask some questions. Build, honey. Add some new things to your toolbox.